Once again, good evening, everyone. My name is Scott Stemple. I'm the athletic director for Mason City Schools. And on behalf of the Mason City Schools and our athletic department, it's my pleasure and honor to welcome all of you here tonight for our 39th annual Hall of Fame induction ceremony as we gather here together to recognize and honor the Mason Athletic Hall of Fame induction class of 2021. With this year's Hall of Fame recognitions tonight, we will also be recognizing two of our most recent Mason High School student-athlete graduates, as well as a few of our very special Mason community members who, by their contributions, have had a tremendous impact on our students and the Mason athletic community. Please allow me just a few minutes to recognize a few individuals, some of our administrators that are here tonight. First of all, our superintendent, Mr. Jonathan Cooper. Mr. Cooper, you want to stand? And Jonathan, you want to get a Mason moment? This is a Mason moment. You want to pull your foot? President of our school board, Mr. Charles Galvin. And then our high school principal, Mr. Bobby Dodd. Also tonight, I don't see, is Dr. Rosano here? Where is he? There, is he on his way? Well, I'm going to recognize. So also want to represent our gracious sponsor from Beacon Orthopedics, our team orthopedic surgeon, who I think is on his way, Dr. Andrew Rosano and his staff, who's here right now at our table. Thanks again to Beacon and Dr. Rosano for their continued support of all of our programs and this event. Thank you. Last year, our programs, even with the challenges brought on by the pandemic, once again continued to produce record-setting results while achieving the school's 14th consecutive GMC All-Sports Trophy. This is the annual award which recognizes the overall success of member schools in the GMC. And whereas much of this is attributed to the tremendous commitment and efforts of our student athletes, with the strong continued support of our parents, our administration, and our community members, much of this accomplishment can be attributed to the leaders of our programs as well, that being our head coaches and our assistant coaches of our programs. We have a few of our coaches here tonight that I'd like to recognize. Coaches, if you'll just stand when I call you out. Mr. Tony Alvatado. Tony's our head girls track and field coach. He's also our freshman football coach. And his wife is right there behind assistant coach Kelly Alvatado, also a teacher in the district. Mr. Rob Matula. Is Rob back there somewhere? There he is. Rob's our head girls basketball coach. And Mr. Greg Richards is our boys basketball coach. Greg. Mr. Kurt Bly, our head baseball coach. Kurt. And Mark Sullivan was going to, did Mark get in here yet? He's not here yet. Okay. And then Casey Popwell. Casey, I saw Casey somewhere out there. Where's Casey at? And Casey's our assistant basketball coach and one of our assistant football coaches as well. And then Darren Little. Darren, where's Coach Little at? Assistant football. And then Andrea Schrock. Is Andrea over here? She's one of our new golf coaches. Andrea, don't be shy. Stand up. Part of the family. There we go. And then special thanks to our Hall of Fame committee members who assist in the selection process. That being Mr. Mike O'Brien. Mike, where you at, Obi? Wave, or there he is. Our historian. He is our historian. And Mr. Mark Souders. Mark, There you are. And Kathy Crotty, who's my assistant, is right over here. Kathy, stand, don't be shy. There you are, yep. And then Mr. Dylan McKinney, my assistant, and then myself as well, I'm on that. And Dr. Rosano just walked in. Doc, you want to wave and say hello? We already talked about you. All good things. And then ICRC, who's here tonight covering the event. And if you have interest in the schedule of the replay, just reach out to Dylan McKinney in the athletic office, and Dylan will give you those dates when they're going to replay this evening. And then lastly, the staff here at the Manor House, they just do a tremendous job. I mean, what a beautiful facility and venue to have this event. So I think the food's going to be awesome. It always is. So the Manor House, let's give the staff at the Manor House a big hand. And then I would just like to take just a minute, just again to recognize my staff, Kathy Crotty and Dylan McKinney, who do a lot of behind the scenes for this. Kathy has her things that she does. Dylan puts a lot of the things together for this event. A lot of connectors that have to take place, and we could not do what we do here with this event without those two. So let's just give them another round of applause. Kathy and Dylan. Okay, couple special things we want to just take a few minutes to recognize before we have our invocation and our meal. First of all, we have a couple special awards. Our scholarship awards that we give to two seniors every year, a male and a female. And the criteria on that, it's a $1,000 scholarship. And they got to be a multi-sport athlete, varsity athlete. And they have to have a pretty solid GPA. And usually we just take the highest GPA of that multi-sport athlete. And that's how we come up with our two our nominees. And then move forward with the recognition. These scholarships have been provided through the generous support of the families of Mr. Ken Reed, Mr. O.D. Popwell, and Mr. Terry Jeffers. And this fund we sustain it. It's been a great contribution from those families, and we always are fortunate to be able to pass those funds on forward to two seniors that are well deserving, and we could not do that without the assistance and the history of those three families. So just wanted to recognize them for that. And may we continue to honor these three great men and recognize the tremendous impact each one had on our rich history and tradition here at Mason. Our first scholarship receiver is Faith Tang. Faith, you want to come forward, please? Come on up here, girl. She's a little shy in here. She's not shy when she's running, but Faith was a premier runner for the Comets over the last 4 years, earning a varsity letter in both cross country and track every season. This past spring, Faith was named the GMC Track Runner of the Year, leading the Comets to a conference championship. Between both sports, cross country and track, Faith helped capture 4 GMC titles. She graduated Mason with a 5.29 GPA, and that's pretty good. and will attend the University of Michigan this fall to study computer sciences. She's here with Mr. and Mrs. Tang, her parents, to support her. So, Faith, congratulations. We're going to miss you, and we wish you well up at Michigan. Let me get your check.
Firstly, I wanted to say I'm really honored to have been chosen for this scholarship, but I couldn't have done it without the support of my coaches, parents, teachers, and teammates, who I wanted to thank for always pushing me to my best, both on the track and in the classroom. Thanks.
Awesome. Great job, Faith. Thank you. Our male recipient is Mr. Bryson King. And Bryson could not be here tonight, so in his stead, his mother, Jennifer Eastep, is here to receive his scholarship award. Bryson was a gifted multi-sport athlete who earned 6 varsity letters between men's volleyball and men's basketball. He was a 4-year letter winner for the volleyball team, earning first team all-conference honors as a senior. He added 2 years of varsity basketball, playing in nearly every game for the Comets. He graduated with a 4.36 GPA, and he is at Purdue University right now, this fall, studying aeronautical engineering. So congratulations to Bryson King. Jennifer, you want to come on up and get his...
Bryson wanted me to convey how honored he is and all of his gratitude and thanks to his teams, his coaches, and all the administrators. Thank you.
You know, and not only are those 2 students, they're superior athletes and great accomplishments, they are both just tremendous kids. I mean, Faith is just she's a great girl, and Bryson is a gentleman beyond measure. So their parents both have done a tremendous job with both of those students. So congratulations. We have 2 special awards. Our next award is the Jack Flaherty Award. This award was established in 2011. The Jack Flaherty Award recognizes members of the Mason High School athletic community as either an individual or groups of individuals who have distinguished themselves through their efforts and achievements that have provided for the betterment of students and athletic programs as Mason High School. Recipients of the Jack Flaherty Award are not Mason High School alumni. However, they have shown a great deal of commitment and dedication to the athletic programs through their efforts that are both timeless and selfless for the benefit of the Mason City School District student athletes. Just like the name of the award, Mr. Jack Flaherty. Timeless and selfless for the benefit of the Mason City School District. So our Jack Flaherty Award winner this year is Mr. Harold Grice. Mr. Grice, 38 years of teaching at Mason High School, coached football for 38 years. According to him, he won more games than he lost, so he says. Has helped host many of our football playoff games. He's just been a tireless worker for us. He's run the clock for us. He's just done a lot of great things in all of our sporting events. Boys basketball scorebook for 37 years, girls basketball scorebook for 6 years. He's helped run sectional and district basketball games that Mason has hosted. He's coached a junior high boys track and field for 5 years, track and cross-country official for 35 years, officiated numerous cross-country and track invitations at Mason as well as many state championship events, assistant meet manager for the district track at Mason that we host, and he's also a member of the OHSA Track Officials Hall of Fame. He was also recognized by the Southwest District back in 2014 as a friend of the athletics, which is a friend of the Mason Athletics. He received an award that he was presented to him at UD Arena back in 2014. So a lot of accomplishments for Mr. Grice. He's been a great supporter and a great part of our family and well-deserved in this award. So, Harold?
you know, when I first came to Mason, well, I was a graduate of Vandalia Butler High School, which Scott doesn't like, but school colors purple and gold. Our arch rivals' colors were green, and I thought they were the most god-awful looking colors ever. And I thought, no way would I ever wear green. Well, I come to Mason, I stay here for 40 years, and most of my wardrobe is green. And I love green now. And so as a matter of fact, I think I only have one purple thing. But I want to thank the selection committee, Scott, Kathy, Dylan, but you know, Jack, for the example that you set. You know, I'm just honored and humbled to receive this award. The girls asked, I have 3 daughters, as you can tell. We chose that picture because I have a little bit of hair in that picture. So we chose that one. But the girls said, are you going to tell a story or two? And I said, yeah, I'm going to tell a couple quick stories. So my football story is this. I coached for a long time, coached with some great, great individuals. One of them was George Heifel. You all know George, I think. Well, at the end of football season, George and I coached together for about 10 to 12 years. At the end of football season, Louis always told George, it takes me about 3 weeks to reprogram Harold's language so it's not George Heifel language anymore. And if you know George, you know what I'm talking about. But I never knew if I was a good coach or anything like that. We were going to play a team called Turpin, and they ran the option. And so we told our kids, you know, you got to hit the quarterback every time, make him pitch the ball as soon as possible. And so in practice, one of our players, Joey, kept hitting our quarterback. And we said, Joey, George got to him first and used some colorful language, but he said, Joey, quit hitting our quarterback. Okay, so we go down to Turpin. Second play of the game. Quarterback runs the option, comes right at Joey. Joey pulls up, doesn't hit him. Quarterback turns up the field and runs for a touchdown. He comes off the field, and I'm going, Joey, why didn't you hit the quarterback? Coaches, you told me not to hit the quarterback. I'm like, well, at least he listened. And so in basketball, I was fortunate enough, Gary Popwell allowed me to keep the book, and then Greg Richards allowed me to continue keeping the book, and I loved doing that every ball game, and just fantastic. But one year, Andy Plum, who I think is a member of this group, we were playing up at Wilmington, and it's late in the ball game, or it's late in the third quarter, and Andy picks up his 4th foul. And so I yelled down to Gary, Andy's got 4 fouls. And Gary looks at me, where's Gary at? And Gary goes, what the do you want me to do about it? I went, okay. Well, my girls were little, and one of them tapped me on the shoulder and said, Mr. Popwell just yelled at you. I said, I know. So after the game, we're going out to the car and everything like that, and Gary comes running up, and I know Teresa got hold of him, and he goes, I'm sorry I yelled at you like that, but what did you want me to do? I said, Gary, that's not my job. I just wanted you to tell you, because I know if somebody would have picked up their 5th like Andy, I was going to be in trouble. And then my short track story is I coached here for 5 years, junior high, thanks to Rod Russell. And you know, the track's not the way it is now. It was a 7-lane cinder track. Well, I didn't realize that signing up for that, you also got to take the cinders that they delivered every year, and you got to roll the track, pick up all the rocks, scratch the track with the lines, and then line the track. Rod and Gary would never let me line because they said I never walked in a straight enough line. But then the first rain would come, and am I not correct, it would wash out all the lines. And so, but, you know, I do want to thank you guys. I also want to make sure I thank my wife, Lou, and the girls, because without them, I'd have never been allowed to do all this stuff that I so enjoy and love doing. So thank you very much.
Our Joe Barr Award winner, Mr. Greg Richards. This award was established in 2004. The Joe Barr Award recognizes Mason High School graduates who distinguish themselves through their efforts or achievements. Whether occurring during their years of interscholastic participation or after graduation, the Joe Barr Award acknowledges individuals or groups of individuals for their contributions to the Mason High School athletic program. Our Joe Barr Award winner, Mr. Greg Richards. Coach, want to come up?
Well, Scott just told me that Harold took my 2 minutes, so I guess this I can just throw out the window. And he actually, Harold, I never yelled at you, did I? I never yelled at you, did I? Like Gary did? There you go. So I did a better job. At least I did half as good a job as Gary. But no, obviously, I know everybody's here to listen to the inductees. I want to thank, obviously, the committee for selecting me, my family, you guys. Whew, I love you. I'm telling you, you guys are awesome. Mom and Dad, when I was younger, teaching me the right way, Kathy and the kids, unbelievable. I was gone a lot, believe me. I coached 3 sports, middle school AD, whatever. So I was gone a lot, and it ended up being tremendous for them. But no, I also want to thank all the coaches. A lot of you are here. Believe me, you know how I feel. Friends, anybody that has supported our program and done things through the years, I appreciate it. A lot of you are in here. You know how I get in these things. But bottom line is, I look at this award like I did when I got inducted into the Hall of Fame, and the fact that people before me, like Gary and Tim and people like that, and Eddie Kelly, I felt like if I could be half the player they were, maybe I had a chance, It landed me in the Hall of Fame. So, of course, fast forward, I get to Mason High School. Dave Lewis hires me to get, come to Mason and teach and coach. I got Gary, I got Tim, I got Rod, I got Kenny, Michael Bryant, doing both sports. I'm thinking, here you go. Rewrite the script, just be half as good as they are, and you got a chance to be somewhat successful. And landed me the Joe Barr Award, which a lot of you do not understand in this room. Some are still here that know who Joe Barr is. And I'm telling you, pillar in this community, did so many great things. And to have your name associated with that is as good as it gets. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Real quick, thanks. I want to congratulate the inductees this year. You guys, well-deserved. Welcome to the Hall. Thank you, guys.
Just a couple things on Greg as he's walking back to his seat. He's been our men's varsity head basketball coach since 1995. 389 career wins. He's been FAVC Coach of the Year numerous times, GMC Coach of the Year numerous times. He's been District 15 Coach of the Year. He's been Southwest Ohio Coach of the Year. In 2011, probably the thing that when I look at our coaches, and we have a lot of coaches that are recipients of Coach of the Year, but this award, he was recognized in 2011 by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio High School Basketball Coaches Association for the Sportsmanship, Ethics, and Integrity Award, which is a really high honor for any coach to receive in the state of Ohio. Yeah. Retired teacher, 30 years teaching in the district, coached baseball and football as well. At one time, he mentioned he was teaching, coaching, and he was middle school athletic director. And again, he was a Hall of Fame inductee in 2002. And so I just wanted to recognize Greg for those accomplishments as well. And congratulations to Harold on the Flaherty Award, and then to Greg on the Joe Barr Award. Congratulations. Okay, with that, I'd like to bring up Mason Comet alum, graduate of 1996, Mr. Nick Bogan, and he will lead us in our invocation.
Between Greg crying and kids talking, it kind of feels like church. So would you bow your heads with me, please? Lord, we're so thankful for, as mentioned before, the rich history that's represented in this room. And the sacrifice and the hours spent for these men and women who've invested in the lives of others over their lifetime. I am the benefactor of those sacrificed hours, as well as many of the recipients tonight and other men and women in this room. We're so thankful. Our hearts are full. And in light of that thankfulness, Lord, we also want to recognize just the loss, the ones that, Lord, even within this week that have passed. We're mindful of their investment and the commitment they've made to children in the community and other lives, and we're just so grateful. As we enjoy this food and fellowship, I pray that it would just be a sweet time to relive memories and laugh and celebrate the rich heritage that's represented in this room tonight. We're so thankful. Bless this food to strengthen us and nourish us through this time. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Nick. Enjoy your dinner.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to ICRC-TV Sports. Three-pointer. Got it! In for the Comets score. Win! Comets win! Yeah!
Our first inductee is Mr. Marty Gentry. Marty Gentry. Marty Gentry is a graduate in the class of 1989. Marty was a gifted multi-sport athlete who accumulated 11 total varsity letters throughout his high school career. He was a 4-year varsity baseball player, earning first-team all-conference honors as a sophomore and junior. During his sophomore season, he was named Defensive Player of the Year at shortstop and helped the Comets reach the 1987 state title game. In 1988, the Mason Athletic Boosters provided the baseball team with their first ever outfield fence. Marty was dubbed the first player at Mason to hit a home run out of the park. A recognition that he'll always have, right? Marty was also a talented soccer player, collecting first-team all-conference honors in the FAVC 3 straight years and helping the school earn its first ever men's soccer conference championship in 1986. He was also a contributor on the men's basketball team, earning 2 varsity letters and scoring second on the team in points as a junior. Even during Marty's freshman year, he helped the football team, earning a varsity letter as the team's kicker. After high school, Marty was a 4-year starting pitcher for Union College, and today he lives in Trenton with his wife Amy and their 2 children, Tyler and Gracie. Marty Gentry.
Thank you for that, Scott. I guess I'll just start off thanking some people. I want to thank Scott Stemple, Kurt Bly, and Dylan for all the communication during this whole time. I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee, for the opportunity. I'm truly honored for this. I want to thank my family, of course, my friends that were able to come. One person missing is my dad. I think we're coming up on the 19th, 20th year. But I know he's up, up above, giving an attaboy. So I'm probably going to reference this picture here a little bit. First of all, there's a 35-year friendship in that picture. That's recently inducted Ryan Gray 3 years ago. We've been friends for 35 years or so. Attended the same college together. This picture was actually mailed to me from former athletic director Mike Montgomery my senior year, and a little story about how this picture even got taken. I was injured, had a knee injury, bad knee injury my senior year, last soccer game against Springboro that required some ACL surgery and some other stuff. So I missed my senior year in basketball, and I missed the majority, if not all, my senior year in baseball. But I always attended the games. I was behind the dugout, hitting off the tee during a game. I think we were playing Goshen or somebody like that. And Mr. Gray, he came around the back of the dugout, and I had just gotten off crutches to be able to walk off of crutches. And he came back there, and he's, how the growly voice, hey, can you hit? And I said, yeah, absolutely. So I didn't have a uniform or anything, but he gave me the keys to the equipment room. I went in and got some baseball pants, got some stirrups, came out and borrowed a fellow player's jersey, and got at the bat. I think we had runners on second and third. Hit one to left center field in the gap, hopscotch down to first base, and they pinch ran for me. And this was after me coming in, and obviously, my best friend for 35 years, the first one, to come up, congratulate me. So, but anyways, I'm gonna try not to get emotional. But like I said, this, I didn't clip this out of the paper. My parents didn't clip this photo out of the paper. Former athletic director Mike Montgomery, he mailed this to my house along with this letter. So I'm going to try and read this letter if I can get it out of me. Dear Marty, enclosed is a newspaper clipping. Marty, I know things did not go well for you due to the injury, but hopefully everything turns out for you okay. You're an outstanding young man with a bright future. Work hard and set goals high and be that great successful person that we all know you will be, Mike Montgomery. I've kept this letter all these years. It meant a lot to me. And I know he's not here, but if he must know, I was able to go into college, played 4 years of college. Like I said, with my buddy Brian. We won 3 conference titles. We won 2 district titles. Our 92 team was inducted into our College Hall of Fame. In 93, my senior year, I was nominated the Male Athlete of the Year, which was a pretty big honor for me. After I graduated college, I played 2 years of semi-pro baseball with the Chillicothe Paints. Semi-pro, pro, if you're getting paid to play a sport, it's pretty exciting. But none of that stuff really would have started if it wasn't for growing up, in this area. It started at Heritage Park, Quinn Park, every park surrounding this county. I was at that park, that gym, that field, my parents, grinders. It's about the only word I can think of. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. So there's a lot of people. I got a few people here I'd like to thank. First of all, I'd like to thank all the teammates, that I was a part of, and all the teams that I was a part of. I'd like to start off, I'd like to thank Ken Natorp. I don't know if anybody's ever met Ken Natorp, but he's a great guy. I played soccer for him probably since I was about 12, till I was about a sophomore when he moved on to something else. For the Warren County Soccer Club, great guy. Joe Dennehy with the Flyers, Perry Dennehy. He was a physical trainer with Sycamore. Back in our day, I played high school with his younger brother, Kyle. But he gave me some extra PT at Sycamore and used their swimming pool and so forth and like that. So I'd like to thank him. The Midland organization, Larry Redwine, Brian and I both played for that organization. Earl Boston, Barry Abrams, Randy Andrews, Charlie Andrews, Mr. Popplewell, Mr. Russell, Ken Gray. I love you. Thank you. Appreciate you. And of course, my family again. I love you guys. Thank you. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Mitch Pence was a member of the class of 1995. Mitch Pence assembled one of the great football careers of the early 90s. He was a 3-year starting running back for the Comets, earning first-team all-conference honors every season. He led the team in rushing, setting school records in single-game rushing attempts, single-game rushing yards, total points scored, and career carries. His 301 yards versus Springboro and 285 yards versus New Richmond remain number 1 and 2 on the all-time single-game rushing list. That's pretty good. Mitch scored 5 rushing touchdowns in the game versus Springboro, tied today for the most by any Mason player in a single game. He had 4 games throughout his career with over 200 yards rushing, which also remains tied for the most of any Mason player. He was named first team Western Star in 1993, second team All-Southwest District, and was an honorable mention All-State selection. Mitch helped Mason to share of the conference title in 1994 and even took his talents to other programs, receiving a varsity letter in both basketball and baseball. He went on to further his football career at the University of Findlay, and today resides in Milford with his wife Jennifer and his sons Vaughn and Andrew. Mitch Pence.
Thing, and Marty helped me fix my collar my senior year too for prom. Thanks, Marty. Man, it's really cool to be up here. I feel like Mr. Richards already. Try to keep this from sounding like a Grammy acceptance speech, and try to keep it in time. Todd actually asked me earlier. He's like, "Man, how long are you going to speak?" I said, "I don't know." I said, Microsoft Word said it's 1,026 words, and Google told me that it would take 6.67 minutes to finish. So That's without all the ums and uhs that my lovely wife had told me to watch out for. So when I got a call from Mr. Stemple telling me that I was going to be inducted, I was a little surprised. I don't want to say surprised, but I'm proud and certainly honored, and gladly accept. So my first call naturally was to my lovely wife, Jennifer, who was also proud. Of course, the waterworks obviously going right. Hey, Mr. Richards, have you met my waterworks wife? So she's very supportive, obviously. She's heard me talk about sports, and of course, I watch sports and try to coach my son. She's aware of my passion for sports, and she was very proud of me. Fortunately, in coaching, I probably would never make it as far as Mr. Popwell or Mr. Richards or Mr. Grice, but I tried to coach my son in soccer. Fortunately, my wife played in college, which I've never played soccer at all. But for anybody who wants to coach soccer from this point forward, I learned there's no timeouts in soccer, and that I learned it the hard way. So just keep that in mind. Second call was to my mother, who I anticipated would also be excited, and she was, after about the first 10 minutes of crying that she got out of the way. She was equally excited for me. And for the first time, I was actually very glad that she had saved some of my stuff from back then. So tomorrow night, I'll be fortunate enough to wear my jersey that I hadn't seen since I was probably 18 years old. So I appreciate that, Mother. Thank you. And she washed it for me, which was very nice. Thank you. I'll probably never be able to use that macaroni art or the finger painting that I did in kindergarten ever again, but I'm very happy she kept my jersey. Then Jennifer called her parents, my in-laws, who were kind enough to be here tonight as well. She was telling her mother, "Hey, Mom, guess what? Mitchell, who only two women in my life are allowed to use that name, is my wife and my mom, but Mitchell's going to be inducted into his high school football Hall of Fame." And there was a couple seconds of pause, and I could tell she was thinking. And she said, "For what?" And she's only known me as a slightly overweight middle-aged man, so I understand. But afterwards I did explain to her that at one point I was not an overweight middle-aged man. So real quickly though, I would like to recognize a couple people who unfortunately aren't with us any longer. Couple good friends. Johnny Hoon. This will be like 2 minutes of the 6.67 minutes. You'll have to give me a second. Johnny Hoon, a real good friend of ours, obviously, classmate, unfortunately passed. He was 33 years old. He was our safety on our football team. We like to call him Toast. He didn't care much for pass coverage at all. He liked to hit people. He didn't care much for pass coverage. But one of my most fond memories of Johnny was when he was really sick. And we went to his father had a gathering for him because he wasn't doing well at his house. But I remember how good he was to my son. My son was 4 at the time. And it's just really, really nice of Johnny. He gave him a jacket, and Vaughn ended up seeing a Hammer of the Week. Do you guys remember Hammer of the Week? Back in high school, they'd play you can't do it nowadays. You can't hit people too hard in football anymore. But back then, they would actually play it on the news when you hit somebody really hard. And Johnny got a Hammer of the Week one day, and Vaughn kept asking to see it on video over and over again. And Mr. Hoon was kind enough to play it for him. So it's a nice memory. Bobby Thomas. Bobby Thomas also played on our football team. He was fullback linebacker. Bobby, just a crazy kid. We have something that we call the run, if you remember the run. against Kings our junior year. Bobby lines up in front of me as a fullback, and we were going to run a belly, right? Off tackle, fullback off tackle. And in not so many words, church words anyway, he didn't say any Bible verses. There was a lot of, I'm coming over in this direction, fine gentlemen, and there's not anything that you're going to be able to do to stop me. And I was behind him saying, John, Bobby, shut up, just shut up, But he did 11 yards into the end zone with about 9 people just hanging on him. It looked like something on a Family Guy. It was really cool. Good memory. Coach Segrist as well. Coach Segrist, he was only our coach for 1 year, but really appreciated him. He had a definitely a different type of intensity when he would when he was our coach. So my memory about Coach Segrist is for whatever reason we were first game our senior year. We were playing at Loveland, new stadium, and I turn around and Coach Segrist is hanging from the crossbar of the goalpost. I thought, well, man, that's strange, because I wondered how the hell that guy get up there, because I know he didn't jump, but it was just a different type of intensity. So those are the 3 members that unfortunately aren't with us any longer from my high school era. So some of the things I'm grateful for, Mason High School, I could sit here and tell stories all night, but education, obviously. I appreciate teachers, the faculty. I really enjoyed being at school. You don't realize it until afterwards, until after you graduate, how much you actually do appreciate and enjoy those things. But I certainly look back on it now and recognize that we had great teachers and coaches and leaders, and it was really, it was a good, really great experience at that high school. Friday nights were awesome. Loved Friday nights. The student sections, the face painting, the signs, the competition, the rivals, the cheering fans, the bands playing, the lights, everything. It was terrific. The smell of fresh cut grass, and a lot of us who's come along after me don't realize that the football fields actually used to be grass, but the fresh cut grass, just everything about Friday nights was awesome. Lifelong friends, they say you meet a lot of your friends that you have for lifelong in college, and for me it was high school, definitely. A couple gentlemen here with me tonight, Kevin and Marty, Kevin Timmons and Marty Case from my class, and I'm grateful for the lifelong friends that I've had. Obviously family, my older brother Aaron, who certainly helped make me an athlete. He was 3 years older than me, for most of you who might remember Aaron. And so there was a lot of tail whoopings I took in the front yard for a while until I turned on the meanness and was able to succeed sometimes. Andrea, who Andrea was better at me in basketball when she was 7 years old and probably could have beat me in one-on-one, so I just stopped playing her. But Aaron and Andrea both were probably better than me athletically, but I think just maybe I had an attitude sometimes that would force me over the top. My mother, of course, who supported me and mothered me and still mothers me. Can't say from my own experience, because I didn't sit in the stands when I was playing, but any time that I would sit next to my mother and somebody would be doing something good on our team, whoever it was next to her was getting the tar beat out of them as she screamed, and they ran down the sideline until they crossed the goal line. So, the excitement came out in Mom. And lastly, my father, who a lot of you probably know passed not long after I graduated. So, like Marty said, looking down with an attaboy. So sorry I Mr. Richards you for a while, but I just appreciate everything. Appreciate Mr. Stemple and all the folks who had me up here today. So thank you very much.
Jeff Stanford is a 1997 graduate. Hold on there, boy. Jeff Stanford was a gifted basketball player, competing on the varsity level all 4 years of his high school career. Starting for the Comets as a young sophomore, Jeff was second on the team in both points and rebounds. He helped lead the Comets to a 13-1 record in the FAVC and a conference championship. His success continued into his junior and senior seasons. He led Mason in both points and rebounds over that 2-year span, earning second-team All-Southwest honors both years. From his sophomore to senior seasons, Jeff never missed a start for the Comets, all while earning first-team All-Conference honors in the FAVC every year. He graduated Mason ranked number 7 on the all-time scoring list with 977 career points, and number 5 on all-time rebounding list with 440 rebounds. Jeff went on to play basketball at Wilmington College, and today he resides in Miami, Florida, where he is heading into his 16th year teaching. Jeff Stanford.
Video. Put this up, Mitch. Sorry. Okay, well, before I got here, I actually didn't prepare any kind of speech. I told Coach Richards the other night that I was just going to wing it. And I saw people with stuff written down, so I felt obligated to jot some stuff down on my phone. And by the way, mine's not 6 minutes and 6.67 minutes or whatever Mitch said. Mine's much shorter. I've been out of high school for 24 years now. I know, 24 years. I've been down in Miami, Florida for just over 15 years. But the city of Mason has and always will have a special place in my heart. I love the city of Mason. A lot of my family still lives there, so when I come back, that's where I stay. I get excited to come back. I message Coach Richards, Matula, I message him, we meet out. It's a very special place. Along the way, I met a lot of amazing friends. I went to Mason kindergarten through 12th grade. So I met a lot of amazing friends, a lot of them that I consider family. There's a couple of them back here right now. We were actually the first group to go 4th through 12th grade. When we were in 4th grade, that's when they started the travel basketball program. So we were the first group to go 4th through 12th, and just the memories of playing basketball with those guys was incredible. I wanted to mention I spoke to somebody, a friend of mine yesterday. I told him I wouldn't mention his name, but he wanted me to mention his name. Achilles Lakes. I know, he said, you have to mention my name. So there you go, Achilles. We were talking about playing in the old gym, and also Todd Hofford was talking about playing in the old gym. The old gym was just different. It had a different feel to it. I know the gym that they have now, it's amazing. But the old gym, when you were just packed in there, it was special. I want to personally thank Greg Richards, Gary Popwell, and Rob Matula. Three of my amazing coaches along the way. Gary yelled at me the most. And the story that Harold told earlier, I had flashbacks, I think. He was definitely the yeller. If Greg mentions Turpin to anybody in here, ignore him. It never happened. I could go on about these guys forever. If I did, they probably wouldn't be invited back, and neither would I. But I also would like to thank my family, my mom and aunt and their husbands are here. My nephew, Devin, and Katie, my niece. I'm not even going to get into Grandma yelling defense. Even in that tiny little gym, my grandmother, God rest her soul, all she would yell is defense. And somehow, over everything, I would hear defense. Obviously, I ignored her, right, Coach Richards? There's too much emphasis on the offensive side, so they were obviously a huge part of my life, and they're still a huge part of my life. I'm extremely humbled and thankful to be here. I literally just flew in. I got in at 4:15 and came more or less straight here. So, but I am thankful and humbled to be recognized tonight. And I'd like to say congratulations to the other inductees. You guys were all amazing at your sports that you chose to play. And that's pretty much it. I told you it was going to be short and sweet. Thank you.
Todd Hofford. Todd was a member of the 2000 graduating class. Todd Hoffer was an exceptional multi-sport athlete, earning 9 varsity letters across 3 different sports at Mason. On the football field, Todd played both sides of the ball, earning second-team All-FAVC honors as a junior and first-team All-Western Star honors as a senior. Junior year, he grabbed 6 interceptions at quarterback, ranking 3rd all-time in a single season. During his senior year in a game versus Amelia, Todd scored a touchdown in 3 different ways. 1, receiving a touchdown, 1 interception return for a touchdown, and an 85-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. That's pretty good. That year, he helped Mason to an FAVC title and a playoff berth. Todd was also a contributor on the hardwood, where he earned 3 varsity letters. As a senior, he was named Western Star Honorable Mention and ranked 3rd on the team in points scored. In the spring, Todd took his talents to the baseball field. He held a career batting average of .346, earning first-team All-FAVC as a senior, and helping the Comets to a share of the conference title. He went on to play baseball at Muskingum University, where he was a 3-year starter for the Muskies. Today, Todd lives back here in Mason with his wife, Stacy, and their 2 children, Ava and Brady. Todd Hofford.
Definitely haven't talked in front of people in a long time, so bear with me a little bit on that. But yeah, I'm incredibly honored to be here. be in the Hall of Fame. It's very special to me, sort of just validating how much I love playing and how much effort I put into it. So I'd like to thank everyone on the committee who voted me in, Dylan especially. I know Dylan, so instead of getting a letter, he actually came over to my house and surprised me with it. So thanks for that. That was great. The only part about that's kind of funny is I've played softball with Dylan forever, but he's never called up to come over to my house. So I answered the door and I said, literally, I'm not kidding, I opened the door and I said, "Hey man, what's up? What do you want?" And felt pretty bad after he told me I was in the Hall of Fame. So, but my wife was there, and we got to share that together with him. So that was great. Thanks. This will probably be shorter than everyone's, but I do have notes. You know, when I look back at my time playing sports for Mason, what really stands out to me is just how much I loved it. I love playing, and I love playing for Mason. As far as I was concerned, I was lucky to be from Mason and felt that we had the best coaches, the best school, the best mascot, and the best group of guys that you could ever want to play with. It was a great time in my life, and I thank everyone who was part of it. I'd like to give a special thanks to my parents. I didn't come from a house of sports. My mom has never played a sport in her life. My dad really didn't have the opportunity. Poor town and a poor family. So sports wasn't big in their life, but they realized that at a young age it was going to be a big part of mine. So I appreciate, my mom, them knowing that was going to be something for me, and all the time and effort they put in for me growing up. So love you, Mom. Appreciate it. I also think she didn't miss one game of mine ever, which is pretty impressive. As far as coaches go, like I mentioned already, I always thought we had the greatest coaches, and I always felt like they believed in us and wanted what was best for us. So I hope that they know that I love playing for them, and the fact how they coached and how much they loved us really made it a great experience. So thanks to the coaches, and also close to my friends, my close buddies that I played with. Some of them are here tonight. Love you guys too. Thanks for coming. There's really nothing better than playing your heart out with a group of guys who are doing the same and are also your greatest friends. I was fortunate enough to have that. I also learned a lot from these guys, just playing ball in the yard or watching them at practice or during the games. Sort of a funny story about learning from my buddies is I didn't start playing football until I was in 8th grade, and honestly, my football IQ was terrible, and so I kind of decided I wanted to play, and a couple of my buddies, both of them over here that are here, over there, Adam Livingston, Matt Swanson, taught me how to play football on a Sega, which is a video game console, and they were gracious and patient enough to pause the game and then tell me everything that was going on during the play and why and how, and that's how I learned, and got me feeling comfortable enough that I could actually try out, come out, and I'm not sure I would have played football if not for them, so thank you. And lastly, I think you just don't really realize while you're playing, and you don't realize until you get older, that it's the experiences you had playing sports just kind of really mold you into the person that you are, and I think a lot of the good qualities I have are directly from playing sports and having great coaches and friends around me while I was doing it. Now I got 2 kids, Ava and Brady, and my wife and I are going to coach them and hopefully give them a great sports experience, because we know that it matters, and we know it'll do a lot for them. So thanks again to everyone who made my sports experience great, and I'm really grateful and honored to be in the Hall of Fame. Thanks.
Stacy Chu. Stacy Chu is a two-sport athlete in soccer and track. Stacy Chu was a premier talent for the Comets during the mid-2000s. She was a 4-year varsity letter winner in track and field and added 2 years of varsity soccer as well. As a junior, Stacy ran and placed at the state track meet, helping Mason win its first ever state championship in girls track and field. Her senior season, she was named Fort Ancient Valley Conference Runner of the Year and again qualified for the state meet in 3 separate events. She graduated with numerous school records, including the 400-meter dash, the 4x200-meter relay, and the 4x400-meter relay, a time that stood for over 15 years. On the soccer field, Stacy was Mason's starting goalkeeper for 2 seasons. She collected academic All-Ohio honors as a senior, graduating with a 4.48 GPA and ranking number 8 in her class. After graduation, Stacy became a rare 2-sport Division I college athlete, attending the University of Dayton and competing in both soccer and track. Today, Stacy is married, living in Tulsa, Oklahoma, with her husband, Justin, and about to welcome their first child into their family. So Stacy is not here with us tonight, but she is here on the video.
Hey everyone, I'm so sorry I can't be there. My husband and I are really sad that we're not there to celebrate with everybody, but I am currently 9 months pregnant with our first little boy, so I'm not able to travel right now, and we live in Oklahoma, so we're not able to be there with everybody, but we are super excited and super honored for this award to be inducted into the Hall of Fame alongside all the other incredible athletes that have gone through Mason. And we just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to everybody who helped get me to where I am today, particularly my family, my parents for driving me around everywhere, soccer practice, track practice, soccer practice again, track practice, my team who motivated me, pushed me to run harder and faster, pushed me to go into the gym, to lift weights, and just had that mentality that we could do it, that we could do whatever we put our mind to. But most importantly, my coaches. If any of you guys have spent any time with the Alvatados, you guys all know how incredible they are. You guys have all felt their energy and felt their enthusiasm and felt their love for the team and for track and field. And it just, nothing would have been possible without them and without their encouragement and without them just really transforming the entire track program. So nothing I have done would have been possible without the Alvatados, Coach Ullum, the other staff at Mason. And I'm just so thankful because running in sports and soccer have become such a core part of my life. I went on to college to run track and participate on the soccer team. And running is one of my favorite activities. It has become part of who I am. I run races all the time. It gives me confidence. It gives me strength. It gives me just a lot of courage. It keeps me in shape, which is great, and gives me a community of people around me who support me. And that's what I learned from the Alvatados in high school, is that's what track could be, a community of people who support you and push you to be better. And so, again, I'm so honored to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I'm so sorry I can't be there to celebrate, but as soon as little boy is born, we'll try to get up to Mason and see everyone and just spend time with everybody and reminisce about old times. So thank you so much.
That was awesome. Melissa King Weimer. Melissa King Weimer is a 2005 graduate. Melissa King played a vital role in creating a successful atmosphere around the women's swim program at Mason. As a four-year varsity athlete, her success came early, qualifying individually as a freshman and sophomore for both the district and state meet. She began to lead the program into her junior and senior seasons, helping the team earn back-to-back conference titles in 2004 and 2005. She was the FAVC league champion both years in the 100-yard backstroke and earned multiple first-team all-conference honors in the medley relay and 100-yard butterfly. As a senior, she placed third overall in the state meet in the backstroke, becoming only the second state medalist in program history. At the time of graduation, Melissa held 4 school records: 100 backstroke, 200 backstroke, 400 medley relay, and the 200 medley relay. She was one of 48 athletes in the state of Ohio to receive the OHSAA Scholarship Award, as well as the Southwest Ohio Classic Scholarship. She went on to Kenyon College to swim for 2 years, and now she lives in Cincinnati with her husband, Matthew, and their 3 children, Camellia, Everett, and George. Melissa King Weimer.
I just say going after such wonderful speeches definitely set the bar high. And I too was scrambling of maybe I should have prepared a little more. But definitely I feel very honored and thankful for this. I think this last year and a half has been a challenging year for a lot of folks. And as the pandemic was starting, our family took the opportunity with the stay at home to be less on social media and be more together as a family. And so, funny enough, by doing that, we were actually very difficult to track down to be notified for this award. When we got the call or notified from Dylan, definitely brought down the memory lane journey, and I think I just kept reflecting on how privileged I was. I started swimming competitively when I was 5 years old, myself and my 2 sisters, and there was a lot of weekend meets. If everyone's ever been to a swim meet, they last forever. You were there all day, and it's hot. So we had parents who sacrificed a lot for us to be there, whether just being there or officiating. I remember when we were first starting, the scoring was all done by hand, and my mom would be tallying up the points to try and see, who was winning. We moved to Mason my 8th grade year, and looking at who had a competitive swim program was part of the choice. The plans for the new high school, which now has, I think, been added on twice, was already in motion. And so my sophomore year, the pool opened in the new facilities with state-of-the-art gutters, which only means so much for non-swimmers, but the world for those who are training in the water. And in the floor that moves, which I hope people still are wowed by the fact that we have a high school whose floor of the pool changes depth. But from morning practice, like getting me out the door by 4:40 a.m., the evening commitments, I was also heavily involved in band as well. And I remember a day where I was so exhausted and overwhelmed, and my mom gave me permission to skip practice and just take a nap. And I was like, really? I can do that? So looking at some of the newspaper articles, it was interesting to think back of who I was about 15 years ago. And one thing that radiated was the confidence I had, So definitely thank you, Coach Sullivan. You probably put up with a lot from me. I do remember one time I kept calling you Mark, and you said you can't do that. So, but I always had coaches who believed more in me than what I saw myself. And from them casting the vision, gave me something to pursue. And I know I would not have achieved what I did without coaches who believed more in me than what I could have believed in myself. Someone mentioned the smell of grass being cut. For me, it's that smell of the chlorine. I love it every time. And being in the corporate world for the last 12 years, I never realized that I had my dream job in high school as a lifeguard where I could just sit in the sun and wear flip-flops to work. So I'm thankful for my family. I feel so loved and supported from my parents, but of course the family I married into who are here, and from my church family who's present as well. And my dad who's wasn't able to be here today, but this has really been a wonderful honor. I think just the joy of looking back through all the clippings and stuff was worth it almost more than this moment to just reflect on how far I've come and where we're at today. So thank you.
Angela Bizarri Flugrath. Angela Bizarri Flugrath was a member of the 2006 graduating class. Angela Flugrath left her mark on Mason as the most decorated athlete in the school's history. She earned 8 varsity letters between cross country and track, helping Mason to its first ever team state title in girls track and field in 2004. Angela was 11-time FAVC champion, a 13-time district champion, 12-time regional champion, and an 8-time state champion. I'll say it again, 8-time state champion. That's pretty good. She earned 7 of her 8 state titles in individual running events, with 2 coming from cross country. She was named FAVC Runner of the Year 5 times, Southwest Ohio Runner of the Year 4 times, and First Time All-Ohio 7 times. She held 7 Mason High School records and 3 Greater Cincinnati records upon graduation. Today, the best runners in the state of Ohio come to Mason Invite to participate in the Bizarri Mile, an annual running event held in her honor. After high school, Angela went on to the University of Illinois, where she became a 3-time NCAA Division I champion and 9-time All-American. She held 7 records for the Illini and was inducted into the Illinois Hall of Fame in 2019. Today, Angela lives out west in Fresno, California, with her husband, Carl. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Bizarri, are here tonight. Angela could not be with us tonight, but we have her on video. Here's Angela.
I want to start off by taking the time to say how honored I feel to be inducted into the Mason High School Athletic Hall of Fame. I am particularly honored to be inducted with such an amazing group of people and athletes, one of whom was my teammate. This award has me reflecting on my time as an athlete, specifically at Mason. I played sports for a long time. I played in high school, collegiately, and professionally, and some of my best memories are from my time at Mason High School. I don't always remember specifically my times at Mason or the specific races. It really went by so fast. But what I do remember are the fun times with amazing people. I remember summer long runs with friends, afterward having bagels and chatting. I remember the long bus rides after a successful meet full of laughter. I remember the 4x800 winning as a team. I think sport was really helpful for me to gain confidence in myself. I was shy as a high schooler and still particularly kind of quiet. And sports taught me that I can set a big goal and take small daily steps to get there. I really fell in love with sports at Mason High School, and confidence in myself grew. And I will forever be proud to be a Mason High School graduate and a Comet. I wanted to take a second to thank some of those people who made my time at Mason such a positive experience, some of whom are here today. They include both Kelly and Tony Alvatado for their continual support and enthusiasm. They really helped make track and field such a positive experience for me. All the fun I had with my teammates, it couldn't be done without them. And then finally, I want to spend the time thanking my parents for being supportive in both athletics and life. Again, I just wanted to say thank you so much for inducting me into the Hall of Fame with such an amazing group of people. Go Comets!
Let's hear one more round of applause for all of our inductees. Just a couple reminders to the inductees. The halftime recognition tomorrow in our varsity football game against Centerville. And while I'm thinking about it, Coach Brian Kastner really has never missed one of these since I've been here. He could not be here tonight, and he wanted to wish the group congratulations, and looking forward to seeing the group tomorrow night at the game. We will have all the names of our inductees engraved on a stainless steel plaque that will be in the tunnel of the Premier Health building out at the football stadium. So if you get a chance to get out to the tunnel there and look up this class, they'll all be listed there. Inductees, you got the details for tomorrow night's game in your packet that Dylan gave to you. He would like to do a group shot, which we'll get together after we're concluded here. So, hopefully we can get everybody together for a quick picture on that. I'd like, before we leave, to have all of the Hall of Famers that are here tonight, if you would all just stand where you're sitting and, yep, don't be shy. Thank you. Awesome group. And to all of the Hall of Fame inductees and everybody that's here tonight that have been inducted into the Hall of Fame for this special class, just remember we welcome you back. You're always welcome back. This is your home. And, once a Comet, you're always a Comet. And we hope to see you tomorrow night. We appreciate everybody being here tonight in support of this class. Have a safe travel home and a great rest of the year. And go Comets!